The South African iron ore industry is committed to unlocking maximum value from its activities to benefit both the economy and the communities in which it operates. We fully support the objectives laid out in the draft beneficiation strategy. Job creation, socio-economic development, and increasing value addition. There are 4 steps in the iron and steel value chain: exploration and extraction, mining beneficiation, metallurgical beneficiation and shaping, and manufacturing and conversion. Exploration involves geological surveying and characterization of resources to determine what can be removed economically. Extraction involves drilling, blasting, and hauling material out of the pit with the use of sophisticated machinery. Despite the inherent dangers of blasting and extraction, an impeccable safety record has been maintained. The iron ore industry has always been committed to the well-being of its staff, and safety remains its #1 priority. The bulk of the material extracted directly from the mine is not in a saleable state. Further upgrading or value addition is required to produce the end products, which occurs in the phase of mining beneficiation. Ore from the pit is crushed in primary, secondary, and tertiary crushers. This is to ensure that the maximum size is not greater than customer requirements. It is then washed and screened. This removes fine particles containing impurities and splits the ore into the different product sizes. Material that is not of a high enough quality after the crushing and screening is sent to either a jig or DMS plant to remove remaining waste material. Both plants use the density difference between iron ore and waste material to extract the good quality iron ore. The investment in the SEP plant at Sishen alone was 5.1 billion rand to beneficiate and produce 13 million tons per annum. Assmang has invested 500 million rand into the jig plant, which will beneficiate 60% of the total ore from the pits over the life of the mine. The intensive jigging and DMS operations with their associated value add are part of the reason South Africa's Northern Cape iron ore is so highly regarded. 2 types of end product emerge after beneficiation: fines and lump. South African lump ore is of especially high quality due to its physical characteristics, which increase yield in steelmaking. The iron ore industry currently supplies 93% or 14 million tons per year of the South African domestic steel industry's requirements. These steelmaking companies include ArcelorMittal, Score, Highveld Steel, Cape Gate, and Cisco. After mining beneficiation, metallurgical beneficiation and shaping is the next phase in the value chain. This is where pelletizing occurs, a process whereby iron ore fines are combined with chemical binding agents to form round pellets. This is beneficial to steel producers, as pellets have a higher yield than fines inside a typical furnace. The superior quality of South African lump and the small quantity of fines makes pelletizing largely unnecessary in South African iron ore production. Another intermediate product that can be formed in this phase is direct reduced iron, or DRI, or hot briquetted iron, or HBI. During this process, carbon and oxygen are removed to produce higher concentrated ore. Liquid steel can be produced through one of two different processes. In the integrated steelmaking approach, iron ore, together with coke and limestone, is fed into a blast furnace to produce pig iron. The remaining carbon is then removed from the molten pig iron inside an oxygen furnace. The end product is low carbon steel. The alternative approach to producing steel is through the use of an electric arc furnace, or EAF, which is fed with scrap, DRI or pig iron to produce low carbon steel. The molten steel that results from both processes is cast into semi-finished long or flat products. In manufacturing and conversion, these semi-finished products are processed into sheets, plates and wire, and then ultimately into more advanced end products. Value add comprises three general areas: labor spend, formation of fixed capital, and taxation contribution. In 2008, the iron ore industry contributed about 25 billion rand in value to South Africa. The industry employs over 14,000 people, and employment has been growing at a rate of 8% a year over the last 7 years, as South African employment numbers have declined in the last 8 years. The total capital expenditure by Kumba and Assmang over the last 3 years has been over 10 billion rand. The Oryx railway line, linking iron ore mines in the Northern Cape to Saldanha, was developed because of the local iron industry. This line, together with the port, employs over 1,000 people and has generated over 4 billion rand in revenue over the last 2 years. And a capital expenditure allowance of 10 billion rand was recently committed to the capacity expansion project. The iron ore industry is dedicated to the well-being of the communities in which it operates. To this end, the industry has built schools, community centres and clinics to help nurture these communities. As a result of these social investments, Kathu, for example, has been transformed from a farming area into a hive of activity. Sustainability, in conjunction with investments in infrastructure, must include skills development. The iron ore industry contributed over 140 million rand to training and development in 2008. Recognizing that mining isn't the end of the iron and steel value chain, Kumba and Assmang have partnered with Mintech and the IDC